Start off with you, of course.
All right. I'm hearing somebody I'm hearing somebody is not muted. Let me. Who we hearing? Hold on a second. All right, now I think I got it. So I mute something here. All right. First thing, next Wednesday we start school. And I want to let everybody know virtual, but there's some things I'm going to let you know here shortly. It's going to help the little things out. I'm going to let the board members know that we have our opening day for teachers will start Monday. Normally we have a breakfast. We're all meeting together. Obviously we can't do that now, but we're going to do something special for them anyway. We're going to have our opening day breakfast at each school. Each school's food service staff is going to feed each school at their school. They're going to serve them and following the protocols, safety protocols. And tomorrow, we're going to if any board members wants to speak to the staff, I know Wendell as a chairman is coming tomorrow. We're going to be filmed and we're going to present a video for each principal to show the teachers and at their specific time they want to, and kind of like we're going to go over employee of the year, the new teachers. I'm going to talk about, I'll introduce the board members to who you are. I'm going to explain to them that our school year, last year's theme was all in, but this year with everything going on, we know as McLean Countyans, we know there is no excuses for anything for our kids. We're going to do everything we can for our kids, and it's no excuses our thing this year. We're going to go out and we're going to teach our kids. Mr. Miller will address the staff. If any board member would like to come and also address staff, you're more welcome.
When is that? This is Miss
Tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm in Evansville. Okay, so that's fine.
All right. It's tomorrow at 9. Mr. Hicks from the high school is going to be here to film. So anybody, he's going to put it together and make a link for all the schools to show their staff. It's a little bit different, but we have to improvise with what's going on for this world today. I just want to praise our staff for the last 2 weeks, been together, getting ready for different scenarios. 1 week we're thinking going to school. Next week we're thinking we're going to be all virtual. So our staff has done a tremendous job, but we've been planning for this scenario all year. All summer, knowing that at any time we could go all virtual due to COVID-19. So our staff is ready and we've been preparing. Just let everybody know, we don't know anything about athletics till this Thursday. And as we find out more, I will share with the community and the board members what I hear Thursday about any new updates on athletics or canceling athletics. I don't know what they're going to do. We will find out Thursday at the KCAA Board of Control meeting. On Thursday, I'll share with you my superintendent evidence, and also I'll have my professional growth plan on there that I've developed that y'all look at and approve it. Hopefully you approve, but it's already done. You should have a copy, or we'll have a copy. I'm going to keep an eye always, as I always do. Like I said, I've been on a meeting this morning with anything and everything with what's going on in the state with in-person school. But one good thing, we're going to be going all virtual, but we have been getting clearance of doing some different things. And this is some good news. And we just got that last night and today put out, and we just sent to the principals to come up with a plan for, we can have some groups start coming in during this time also. We've been given guidance from KDE that allows us to now be able to bring in small groups of students during all virtual instruction to receive targeted services that supplement learning. And these services include evaluation, hands-on experience, mental health and academic counseling, occupational therapy and speech therapy, occupational, physical, and speech therapy, and targeted remediation. This is supplemental. It's not instruction, just where certain kids get instruction, the new stuff is helping, keeping things going, doing supplemental and remediation to help certain kids. We will be starting with the principals, a new plan on this service here shortly. It's a start to get back in person, and I'm happy to say we'll be working with the kids to get kids in there, kids that especially need it, need instruction, need services. We're going to be working on very hard to get them in as soon as possible. But they also gave a number of guidelines of a number of students we're allowed to have in the small groups. A 9-to-1 ratio, 9 students to 1 teacher ratio will be in effect. And a total number of students cannot surpass 15% of the school's total student capacity. So that means each school will be different on the number. Basically, the 15% rule for each school. Calhoun is 81 at a time. Livermore is 85. Marie Gatton's 54. Middle school is 85, and the high school is 130. But remember, you have to have certain groups. You would have to follow the safety protocols coming in the door, and 1 teacher per 9 groups. We will start working that. We're allowed that through the state and the guidance, and I believe that will start helping us with the in-person. Start moving them back in when we are ready for all and allowed to. We'll move in with our plan of virtual academy plus in person. But this gives us a start to help the kids that actually need extra help at this time. That's all I have right now. If you have any questions as we go on through this, but each day is different, and I will keep communicating with you and hopefully when things change for the better, we will do it for everybody. And I know I've talked to each one of the board members, and I can say we all agree kids learn better in school. We are wanting them back in school. We'll get them as soon as we're able. Yes. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Burrell. Excuse me. The next item, approval of individual action items. And the first thing is consider approval of July 16th, 2020 special call board meeting minutes. I don't know if any of you have anything on that, or if you.
They look good to me.
Look good to me.
All right.
Me too.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Hearing that, do we hear a motion to a recommendation?
I recommend we approve the July 16th special call board meeting minutes.
All right. Recommendation made. Hear a motion?
I'll make that motion, Ms. Sutton.
All right, Ms. Sutton.
I'll second.
Mr. Riggs. All right. No other discussion. I'll signify by saying yes.
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 Yes. No's. All right. 5-0. Next item would be consider approval to amend dress code and district code of discipline, acceptable behavior, and attendance policies.
Well, since we approved this this code of behavior already, since then we've been asked, we have to add an additional discipline behavior dealing with people that do not want to wear a mask. It's part of the dress code. We just had to add mask to the dress code behavior policy. It's just an additional piece we have to put into the behavior policy.
All right. Any discussion on that, anyone?
What
No,
does it-
I'm good.
What does it say?
It basically says first, according to the policy, first is a warning, second is 1 day AEP, just like the regular, but they want us to do more warnings with a mask. So the third one is 3-day AEP, and the fourth one due to our attorney. And if it's because of the safety reasons, we have to have masks by health department. Since our virtual academy is like another class, we will say you are not abiding by the mask policy. You are now going to be getting your education through virtual academy.
All right. All right.
We are not denying education, but we have to follow the safety protocols, and this is basically to help mainly our principals and assistant principals that don't have to fight mass situations throughout the whole course of the year. They could be spending that on 24/7, but if this is a health protocol and a directive that we have to do, our teachers don't need to be worrying about masks 24/7. They need to be worrying about the education of their kids.
Right.
Agreed.
All right. That's it. Recommendation.
I recommend we approve the amendment to add the mask to the dress code.
All right. Heard the recommendation. To hear a motion?
Motion.
Ms. Bumpus, thank you. Second?
Second.
Mr. Howard, thank you. All right. All in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? No. All right. 5-0 has it. So passes. Thank you. And then discussion of August 20th board meeting agenda.
Okay. Like I said in my comments, you'll get my evidence and my professional growth plan for you to go over and hopefully approve, but that's just that part. Obviously, going down to the consent item, you'll get today's minutes in there to go over. We need to add a couple amendments to our salary schedule. We used to have it on there. We don't have it anymore. We want to add the admin mentor spot back with all the new interim principals and new assistant principals out of district. This gives a experienced mentor for them. It's just a stipend. And also we have a new mental health position that's a grant of a social worker we've added. We didn't have a salary schedule for that new employee. We added their salary schedule in there. And also we want to add $1,000 stipend because since we went to CEP, we need a FRAM coordinator, which is free and reduced lunch person, puts all our paperwork into our Infinite campus. Since we went CEP, food service can no longer do that, and every elementary child and every middle school child has to have the forms put in Infinite campus. And we want to give a $1,000 stipend basically for that person because there's a lot of work and keeping up, and that helps with our Title I funds or title funds. And we have to have those forms, and we have to have somebody to do it. So it's just a stipend to help out with our paperwork, ensure we get our money on other federal money and state money on other things we have to have those forms for. And with that, I'd like to recommend our amendment to our salary schedule, adding these.
All right. And consider approval of grant budget amendment.
I mean, are y'all going to recommend? I recommend that we approve that amendment. I guess we have to have a vote on that.
Oh, I thought we weren't doing this till Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. You're correct.
You got me last month, so.
Come on, Burrows. Wait till Thursday.
All right. Ms. Brackey, you want to talk about the grant budget amendments? Miss Brackett, she's unmiked, but I can't hear her.
I can speak about that if you want, Mr. Burrow.
Go ahead, David.
Just a budget amendment for Ms. Brackett. She is lining up her Perkins money with the purchases and lining it up with GMAP. So there's no change in money. She's just changing what she's expending from one category to another.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Okay, and then consider local agreement of cooperation of full utilization of Head Start.
Ms. Turley?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
That is just our contract with Audubon area, where we collaborate for our preschool and Head Start services. The contract hasn't changed very much from last year, so just looking for approval for that.
All right. Any questions on that, anyone?
Nope.
No.
All right. All right, the next one is E, approve emergency reading of Title IX Sexual Harassment Legal Update Policy.
With E and G, this the S to the policy and procedure. KSBA came out with an additional policy. Remember, we approved in June the new policies and procedures that the KSBA gave us. And this is a new one with a new legal wording. It's not us. We're not making a change. It's just updating two of the laws that we have to follow with the Title IX harassment and legal update procedures and policies. That's all those two are.
All righty.
It's just wording that they gave us. We have to approve it. One's emergency reading of the policy and one reading for the procedure.
Okay, that's E and G.
E and G, yes.
Okay.
You have F in there, and that's the EOP. Ashley, Mr. Troutman, you would like to discuss
Gosh, I can't see.
kind of a quick overview of the emergency operation procedure?
I'll be glad to. All the board members should have a packet. We don't post that online for safety reasons, obviously, because we don't want our emergency operations plan out to the public. But each of them should have a packet. Not a lot of things have changed in the EOP. I would certainly entertain any questions they may have. I'd give them time to look over it today until Thursday. So if they have specific questions, I'll be glad to answer any of them.
And we also met with our emergency management team yesterday with all principals. We had Mr. Van Cleve, Sheriff's Office representative, and kind of going over this plan together for our yearly meeting to make sure anything that needed to be changed, we'd get it changed.
All right. Next item, I guess, would be H, approve FMLA for employee number 3791.
Ms. Lindsay?
Miss Lindsay wasn't able to be here. She had
That's
a,
right. We just had an employee fit the policy by law, FMLA.
Okay,
That is.
that's good.
The next one, the high school wants to do a grant for the ag classes. It's a Harbor Freight grant for the agricultural for possible tools up to, I don't know how much money, but it's up to a certain amount of money. If we get awarded, they don't give money, they give a gift card to Harbor Freight where the instructors can go get tools for their classes. They're just wanting an opportunity to try to apply for this grant.
That's good.
All right. Next would be approval of individual action items and the bills, of course. I guess we can look over those later. And the next thing would be approve McLean County Board of Education 2019 Kentucky Clean Diesel Grant Memorandum of Agreement.
I'll let Mr. Trout remember what this is. We want to purchase a bus this year. I think it's what we're talking about. And I've worked with David and Mr. Troutman, but I'll let Mr. Troutman share what this grant is to help out with purchasing a bus. Mr. Troutman?
Yes, sure. Bridget and I had found a grant that we could fill out for possible help buying school buses, using matching funds. Long story short, throughout this grant, we were awarded $25,000 towards the purchase of a new school bus. Speaking with Mr. Stokes, Mr. Burrow, we felt like, anytime you're able to get $25,000 to help out buy a bus, that we felt like we need to go on and move forward with that this year. So the bus would have to be purchased this year, and but again, $25,000 coming from a grant.
And we've been planning on having purchased a bus for this year. I think, David, if you correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is budgeted for this year, correct, David?
Yes, we were planning on purchasing one.
And instead of $100,000, it'll cost us $75,000 to buy a bus. So this grant will be a much needed help. So I want to also thank David. I think we are actually finished with, we don't have any buses now on Kimi, right?
That is correct. This will be the first year that we are not making any lease payments.
Hooray, hooray.
That is awesome job, Mr. Stokes. When a district can buy their buses and not pay over 20 years, I don't know, 14, 15, 16, how many years we pay for buses and this stuff. This is great when we're in ability to buy a bus and don't have to lease or borrow money or anything else. That's good. We're at good shape.
Question on the grant, the clean diesel grant. What is different? This bus different than the others?
This bus is really not, well, obviously it's a newer bus, so they say the newer buses are supposed to get better fuel mileage. One of the qualifying factors for this, Mr. Miller, and all the board members know, this is a great question, was if you had buses from the age of 1999 or 98 back that you still had on the road, you know, they were qualifying those buses as high emissions and wanted to try to remove those buses off the road. And we do have a 1995 bus. And I spoke to the person at length. It did not have to be a daily route. It didn't say it had to be a daily route bus. It just said if you have a bus 1998 or older that you're putting on the road. So that bus was a spare bus, and occasionally it was being used. So basically what we have to do with that bus is destroy that bus and show proof that we've destroyed that bus so that it no longer be put on the highway. And then there was we had to put an idler, had to agree to put an idler timer on this new bus, which I think some of the new buses come with that anyway. And other than that, those were the two main qualifying things for the grant.
All right, thank you. Sounds good. Next thing would be consider approval of 2021 motor vehicle and watercraft tax rates. Mr. Stokes?
Yes, Mr. Superintendent, members of the board, Mr. Chairman, our recommendation would be to keep the same rate as last year for the motor vehicle tax rate. It's 51.5. It's actually been that rate for the last 15 years at least. So we recommend not changing that.
All right. And the next one, consider approval of property tax rate for 2021. Mr. Stokes?
Mr. Chairman, again, Mr. Superintendent, members of the board, this year we were happy to recommend our compensating rate with exonerations, which will actually lower our tax rate and bring in around at least the same amount of money that we received last year. After getting our assessments in, they did not increase a whole lot this year. And to even think about a 4% rate would go up a couple of cents, and we just didn't feel that would be right. Consider that you're considering everything going on. But we are happy that with the compensating rate actually lowering our taxes.
All right. That is great.
That is some good news we need during this time.
Yes.
So.
And the next course would be Mr. Stokes with your treasury report, and have that for Thursday. And I guess personnel reports or school reports, I think we probably have all these online, won't we?
Or Miss Shannon will give it to you Thursday about the new update.
And review data security best practices. That's Mr. Bowman. He may be running around.
I'm sorry. Let me step out just a minute.
That's fine.
I just to on that information item about data security best practices, according to regs, we just have to make sure that the board's aware that we're following KDE recommendation when it comes to data breaches and notifications. I have attached the document so that you can review it at your pleasure. But anytime we have a data breach, fortunately, we have not had but just one during my tenure. But we do follow KDE's recommendations.
All right. And next, board member comments. Anyone have anything to add to, or Mr. Burrow, do you have something else you need to add?
I'm
Question.
yes.
With the opening of school, okay, the teachers are going to go to school.
Yes. They'll be working in their classroom.
Okay,
Yes.
they'll be working in a classroom. What about their children?
They have been allowed to bring their children now. That wasn't at the beginning, but they had if they follow the protocol and go, have them in their classroom only, not running around the school, and the parent keeps up with their kid, then that is perfectly fine as long as they follow the protocol of, masks coming in and go to the room and keep them in the room.
Okay, I was just double checking.
Yes. At first, that was not the case from the commissioner and the governor.
Okay.
But it has changed since we have a plan. As long as they have followed our safety plan, that parent is allowed to have their child in the classroom.
Okay, sounds good.
I had one thing. I have several parents ask me, well, how does the virtual work? I know you said that you could go back and go over it several times on it, but I didn't know if the parents have already been given all this information they need to make sure that their children are on it or not, or correctly.
Is there there's some principles on here. How many, Miss Gatton and Mr. See who else is on here? Miss Gatton, would you like to share some things y'all doing at the Calhoun? There's Miss Ellis is on here, Mr. Nelson.
Yes, I don't care to go ahead and share. We've had two parent nights. Parents were able to come and pick up materials on night one and pick up information regarding our virtual learning. And then on night two, we had a park and learn session where parents were able to come and park in the parking lot and able to get information if they needed it, to sit outside, and teachers met out there to help them with their students' Chromebooks and the instructional resources that the district has provided for us for our virtual learning program, and the supplemental resources from the school. Also, our teachers have sent out our school instructional plans through our school communication system, and we've created a school full distance learning plan, and we have edited and revised it, and we'll be sharing that out. But I think most of our parents are well informed on how to access our virtual curriculum and how to access and communicate with their students' teachers. But we do plan to release some more information about a detailed schedule and what to expect on day-to-day instruction that I think will help settle a lot of parents' minds and ease them into it as we move forward with virtual instruction.
Thank you. That sounds good. Sounds like it's going to be a great plan. Like we said, not as good as being in school, but a good plan for other than that. And that's probably a good idea to have some other parents. There's been a lot of apprehension about it. So sound like y'all have it under control. I haven't heard from these people in a few days. So
Miss Ellis, you want to share Livermore? I don't see Mr. Farley on here today, but I know Mr. Nelson and Miss Ellis is on here.
We have had 2 days that our parents came and picked up all of our Chromebooks, and majority of them were all distributed, so we did not have very many left at all. We've contacted everyone that's on the rosters. All the teachers have made phone calls and discussed anything that they had concerns about. Most of them have been resolved, and we've had very few that have told us that they weren't going to be able to access it. Packets were sent home and with detailed instructions on what to do. Our schedules were sent home by the teachers, and so they've been just regularly communicating with them. Also, one of our biggest concerns, I know Miss Mincy and Head Start has been working with Miss Turley, and they have had several come in that have been actually screening for our program. And Miss Connie has put together also a specific program for our MSD unit children to come in small groups. So that's what we've been working on.
All right. Thank you.
And for the high school, which is elementary, high school has a whole lot more different variety of classes. Mr. Nelson, you want to share anything?
Sure, Mr. Burrow. Mr. Chairman, Board of Education, we, at the high school level, every child and every parent has been contacted through email, through telephone calls, multiple different times, all in the past 2 weeks. We had also distributed Chromebooks, and out of 441 students, I think we've gotten maybe 13 Chromebooks that haven't gone home yet. So it was quite an undertaking. It's taken several days, but we've had a lot of success with that through one call, Facebook, a little bit of everything, social media. And as far as virtual learning and not having internet, we've got just a handful of kids that do not have access. However, Coach Lancaster, Seth Lancaster, wrote a grant for Tyson's Foods for up to $1,000, and it was approved this week. Good. And he got the confirmation letter. We're going to buy 5 mobile hotspots that will travel wherever from place to place in order for the students who do not have reliable internet can access our learning plan through that.
That's great. That's great.
And now we're working on bringing the students in a 9-to-1 ratio for students to parent or students to teacher in the same room. And we're I know we just got the numbers today that we can have at least 130 kids in the building. We're working on a plan so that every child, if they so desire, can get in the building 3 to 4 times at least during this first 9 weeks.
That's great. That's great.
Will they be transported by bus or parents?
No, ma'am. Won't be any transportation.
No Oh, good.
No yeah, we can transport this time. This will be a volunteer.
Okay, that's right. Good.
All right. Does any other board members have any questions or anything to add? Mr. Burrow, are you still good?
I'm ready for adjournment if you are.
All right. Do I hear someone to want to make that recommendation?
I make the motion.
Make a motion. I'm sorry, Ms. Bumpus. Thank you. Okay, and have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Weeks, thank you.